blink once, then Immortals will take them away.
Well, we'll find out what happens in our first draft between these two sides as we get into game number 1. Immortals over on the blue side for the first one. Phoenix One hanging out over on the red. Maokai Kindred, the first 2 bans from Immortals, so pretty standard stuff there. And then Rise and Nidalee, also very standard from P1. Lucian's out of there. We're almost done with the ban.
Keep going. Lightning fast. Base your time. All the bans come in. Let's see here. Swain is still up. Vladimir's still up. Swain is not still up. All right. That just means that... Okay, so I actually have a really high importance of Rek'Sai, but that's because I'm overly jungle focused. If we actually look at, worldwide trends, things that have slipped through here, Echo, very high priority. Fizz has been rising, though, in that sort of counter, and people are kind of happy to take him into that. But there it is, the first pick, Echo. They do pretty much just go by the numbers.
Yep.
The next highest percentage champion to get through picks and bans here. He's strong all around still. This is 6.10, remember, everyone. And we're not playing on the live patch. And he's still very, very formidable up in that top lane.
Yep, have to think it will be Huni's champion. Could be a flex, but we've seen Huni play already twice yesterday, so no reason to suspect otherwise. Vladimir also open, but Immortals actually didn't touch it in their series versus Cloud9. It was notably absent somehow, so we'll see if maybe P1 decided to pick it up and take it, or if they've got something else in mind.
Yeah, and that's one of the 2, ridiculous healing mages that we have kind of upsetting a lot of the games here. Swain is the other one, along with Vladimir. He's on the ban list, but man, either of those 2 champions, they've been catching a lot of teams off guard. People haven't really got used to where do I fit my Grievous Wounds into my build. Do we assign it to the AD carry to try and get an Executioner's Calling early, or just wait for a mid laner, Morella Namicon, that only kind of works when he's low already? So there are a lot of trade-offs if you decide to give one of those super healing champions over in the meta right now.
Yep. Right now, they're going to stay untouched as Rek'Sai Braum are actually P1's first 2 picks. Very safe here, very standard stuff, but they do deny the Rek'Sai away from Rainover.
Yeah, as far as the supports have gone recently, both Braum and Bard are the 2 most banned. And Zig going to grab that one for his teammate. Gate will be happy to play the strong man this time around. As I said before, on Immortals side, Rek'Sai for me has risen really, really quickly in the pick priority, just because almost everyone is banning both Nidalee and Kindred. And I feel like Rek'Sai does have a significant advantage over everybody else right now. The improvements to the Cinder Hulk, you can just build full tank, get Sightstone, get a lot of information, and still play a frontline for your team effectively.
Such a strong juggler, but Immortals have plucked in a few more picks. Victor actually maybe less popular than I expected coming into the week, but certainly a champion Probelta is comfortable with. And Karma, she's just around everyone in North America. I mean, if anyone's going to be just playing Karma every game, probably Adrian.
True enough, the guy to start it all off, right? Last split. But anyways, there has been a lot of focus as well on speed recently, and Karma's AoE speed shield combo has been very effective with it being picked in conjunction with Victor. That is going to be the support. This is a very AP heavy team for Immortals, so we're definitely going to see them round it out with Wild Turtle on a threatening AD carry rather than one of the more support oriented ones. The thing is, he's played Ashe a lot already, so if they did that, I would expect them to actually get a bit higher damage jungler and to maybe get somebody with some physical damage from that side, or not go with that pick all around. Anyways, the other sort of utility AD carry, which also has incredibly strong late game teamfight damage now, so is picked up there for Phoenix One.
Yeah, got Trundle in there as well for Zig once more, I have to assume, and there's Ezreal locked in with Graves also going to join him.
That fills the exact role I was talking about for jungle. Some AD threat coming from that role as well, and Immortals round out their damage profile very nicely in their last 2 picks. You can see the thought process there. Meanwhile, Phoenix One, they get the counter pick. Who's it gonna be? They already have everything except for mid lane, and it's hard to counter pick Victor. Teemo's not the one to do it, but we'll get some crowd favorites there.
Yep.
I have to say, I really want to see Slushy on an assassin. Something like LeBlanc, the Fizz that he played already, even though he gets smashed in CS basically, still able to create plays for the team and try and cause some chaos.
Yep, his LeBlanc got banned yesterday, I believe, so might just take it here. Pretty safe into Victor, generally a decent champion to pick, and he will take it. He'll get your assassin this time, Kobe, but it's not Fizz.
Yep, I'm still very excited to see this because Slushy, when he was playing for Teammate, this was one of the two champions he won games for the team on. He was there were a few games where he really hard carried for that team. Orianna and LeBlanc were the go-to ones. LeBlanc hasn't changed much since then, so we shall see if he can get that mid lane pressure and start to roam as he used to do.
Well, P1 definitely looking to Slushy to get things going because they do like to play aggressively with that mid laner. We'll see if they can maybe tighten some things up though. Immortals, a long series yesterday, but still a very strong one. Feels like they're the same consistent team that everyone thought they were going to be coming back in after being so dominant throughout the spring.
Yeah, Cloud9 really gave them a run for their money there, taking it the distance. This time around though, Immortals, lots of damage in this lineup, as I assume that Huni is once again going to go AP Echo, so they have a lot of threats, and then the AoE shield speed from Karma is really what they're relying on to create a lot of the plays, because they don't have a ton of hard CC. Their hard CC is very unreliable. Echo, with the parallel convergence, is going to have to be maybe flash plays or some sneaky flanks from Huni, because he's not going to be that tanky.
No, I've seen it before. Huni does like to make the big plays, but we are really nearly ready to begin this best of 3. So let's hear from you at home. Tweet the hashtag IMT win or hashtag P1 win to support the team who you think will win game number 1. Don't forget, it is a best of 3. I'm sure you're sick of us reminding you already, but we'll get to see at least 2 games from these two teams.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to it, actually. You know, this was my first day on the analyst desk, prepping for this game as well, trying to keep track of all the action in both streams, especially when the games get exciting. It was very fun. All right, in the battle theater here, though. First game of this series, and we're going to jump out to pretty standard openings. Everyone's going to fan out, and it looks like it will be a defensive opening. Probably pretty standard here. Nobody looking like they want to get deep wards for the invade or any kind of lane swap here.
Nope, everyone just chilling out. Pobelter and Slushy going to say hi. Adrian actually spotted by Gate, but again, he's not going to dip his head in too far. We may just get standard lanes here, which will be a nice way to start off the game.
Yeah, and if we do get standard lanes, obviously I like to keep track of the junglers because they get a lot more freedom and they have a lot more choices. Keeping their options open is very important. But if you look at the matchups, first thing junglers do is they look at every single lane, look at which ones are going to be trading very heavily and very early, to try and assess the volatility of these lanes. You know, where can I actually have the biggest impact? If it's going to be a lane where both mages are standing back and just farming, probably going to head somewhere else. You know, Trundle up in the top side. Trundle basically wins every melee match, but Echo is one of the few who can actually make that match a workable matchup. Turns out, though, Echo's heading bottom right now. And it might be your Australian lane time.
Upside down once again?
Yeah, both solos are going down. This is blind. That's why it's probably going to be matched here.
Ooh, I'm going to spot them though. Adrian, a wild turtle. Damage on the Gate. He's going to face check the brush. Damage there from Karma's good, but that Braum passive really hurting at level 1. Mash absolutely wins that trade.
Yeah, Braum, you're okay actually face checking there. And Sivir comes through with a huge bunch of AoE damage there, getting that blade out. And face check unpunished here. Mash and Gate actually get control of the lane because of it. Sivir gets to start pushing. Happy day for Phoenix 1 up on the top side. Meanwhile, down bottom, they get their matchup they wanted. The Trundle gets to have a solo 1 versus 1. Ooh, Minion pops the passive there for LeBlanc. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, though, since we are in lane swaps. Sometimes we've seen junglers go for early ganks mid, but Zendilo's taking a lot of damage on his early clear here, as the solo, not top laners, are
definitely not top lane.
Yeah, definitely not top laners. Are sitting down the bottom.
Huni hit level 2 though, so good trade there onto Zig. Zig will now hit 2, so Trundle should be okay, especially as the minions die and he'll chug through those charges of Corrupting Potion. Unsurprisingly though, Huni will continue to play aggressively in this lane, particularly since he will be building more damage. Focus once again. Craspion dying procced again, I believe, so Echo really putting the early hurt in here. Zig gonna be forced to play back just a bit here.
Yeah, Huni already starting out with 15 AP, so he is definitely going to be going the AP Echo and trying to punish early on, using his Time Winder, shove the lane, and get harassed at the same time.
Looking good so far, as Rainova's actually going to move around his jungle. Pobelter snared up though, Slushy trying to get some aggression happening, but Pobelter's done a really nice job just sort of holding the trades, and Sentinel is far too low. Going to smite the red buff and get away with it, but luckily for him, no one else is around.
Yeah, and he does have a ward there as well. That's why he's feeling confident going back in for this one. Barely finishes off the clear, but he'll smite on the red buff for extra health. Comes through in a pinch. Zig's had enough of this.
Yeah, Hooney's in trouble actually. Might even die if he goes for the flash order. He's going to go for it. But Hooney does flash out of the way. Did not want to get reset on.
Pobelter also pushing his lane up very heavily. So both solo lanes for Immortals trying to shove their opponents in. And since Zig got so low in the jungle, not able to make a visit to either, both of them backing off now with flashes gone in the melee bottom lane. This is one of those ones I was talking about before, talking about volatility. Those guys trade early and often, and they haven't built tank stats yet. So that is an option for junglers to go to, especially now since they have decreased mobility. Both burning flash.
Yep, even the top lane pushing in there.
That? He had the backswing of his boomerang. You know how boomerangs work, right?
Yep, correct. Couldn't quite get it there, unfortunately. So I'm sure Mash will recalibrate. As once again, trades happening. Hooney actually went back, bought a Dark Seal, TP'd back into lane. So if the trade's going a little longer, should be able to sustain through a Trundle, but not for too much longer. Trundle's pretty good at staying around. There's a Q from Sentinel, but going to be pushed out of the jungle there. No steal this time, and Renova's just going to make sure he gets out.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting little change. I am okay with junglers going in and just stealing small raptors now, because they're so... Ooh.
All in. Looks like Mash getting exhausted, but Wild Turtle going to eat the same fate. Gate getting low, though. They're going to consider an all-in, but Summoner spell's already used. Gate's going to be safe.
Yeah, the poke lane here from Immortals firing back. They regain control after being pushed under their turret. And a couple of those empowered mantra Qs landing can completely change the face of the lane. Turtle now going to try and land some shots under turret. Aha, he is rewarded for his skill shot. And here comes the attempted dive from Rainover. Against the wall, they can get full damage. Q, he misses it actually. They got to abort.
Could be bad news for Adrian getting low, but Rainover just make sure everything stays okay. But P1 actually dodged that very easily. Adrian forced to flash and get out.
Yep, half-hearted sort of dive there, I guess. The Q from Graves would have gotten a quick reactivation, but he missed it. Pobelter's going to walk into Sentinel and then walk away from Sentinel after taking a licking.
Definitely scary with no flash, though. Thankfully, Slushi not level 6, so Pobelter feels relatively safe. Immortals definitely playing aggressive in all their lanes. Known for that high-pressure style. Certainly makes sense that they want to try and get ahead as early as possible. And Gold nice and even, so they haven't managed to find a lead just yet, but they're at least giving Rainover, most importantly, room to maneuver around.
It's actually, yeah, even though there have been no kills, a fairly exciting laning phase at least, because everybody's constantly trading.
Could be problems. Slushi in there with the chain, and Pobelter going to get locked up. He does get the stun down, but the Ignite's on him, and First Blood will in fact go to Slushi.
That's why we wanted to see Slushi on the Assassins. He brings back the LeBlanc here, burns the flash earlier on, and Sentinel comes in to capitalize for him. Rek'Sai, if they have flash and the mid laner does not, it's very easy pickings.
Rainover, but that's a little risky. Does he? The chain, Slushi wants it. Needs another auto. Does land, and Slushi nails the second.
2 kills for the LeBlanc, and Slushi is off to the races, snowballing really quickly. He has the double Doran's ring for the early power there, and he's rewarded very, very nicely.
Yep, got a 10 CS lead, so things looking real good as the 80 carries are fairly even, and Hooney does have somewhat of a lead versus Zig there in his lane matchup. So Slushi, once again, the person to really push momentum forward for P1, and they're rewarded with 1,000 gold lead, which pretty much just belongs to Slushi.
Yeah, this lane gets very scary for Pobelter now because his flash is still down. His heal is also now down. So his job actually just becomes trying to wave clear from range while not sustaining too much harass from Slushi, and trying to get wards out on the side so he can call out when Slushi leaves lane, because he's not going to be able to follow him. You can't control your lane anymore. This is a 2-kill early game LeBlanc, and you are a summonerless victor. So at most, he's just going to try and keep track, notify the rest of the team so that when Slushi does go for a roam, he can just try and, you know, push up the wave, punish him with minions, and hopefully alert his teammates in time that they don't get hurt.
Yep, has to chill out there for now, of course, but Pobelter taking all necessary precautions with that early item build. Gate looking for a Q, doesn't land it. Hooney responds in kind by phase diving straight on top of him, but we have actually swapped back now for P1, so it's going to be a brief 2v1 as Zig's also back in the top lane versus the Immortals duo. Siva with a BF sword, pretty good at pushing, as this looks bad news for Pobelter. Slushi diving in for it, but the ulti's been burnt. Rainover's here as well. They might be able to turn things around, but Slushi trying to line up a few more kills. Little too low to go back in, though.
Yeah, really good counter gank there by Rainover. They know that every time the wave is going to get pushed past mid, it's going to attract attention from P1. Now Rainover, though, barely dodges that Q from Braum. That was necessary.
Here's Huni though, he's teleported in, and now the gate's going to be the target. Solution are going to dive back in. His Turtles also made his way down with Adrian. Ulti's not enough for Graves for the kill onto Gate. He flashes out and somehow gets out alive.
Party mid lane here. Huni also canceled that teleport, so now there's going to be a teleport advantage for P1. Zig on the Trundle does have that now, and nobody ends up going down in that exchange. But you can see how Immortals are trying to collapse and protect their wounded member here. Pobelter knows that he's going to draw a lot of attention in mid lane, being down the flash still. They've been able to protect him long enough, so his flash has come off cooldown. And so many counter ganks and so much pressure from the rest of the members of Immortals mid. They've been able to pretty much right the ship, and the very, very small gold lead now for Phoenix One from those kills has been almost negated.
Pobelter going to get his blue, so feel even safer in mid lane. Might want to go back, but doesn't have to just yet. Sentinel farming out that red will take that for himself and continue power farming there on the Rex side. Actually, jungle CS pretty even. So it looks like, for the most part, Graves and Rek'Sai have just been farming away here. But again, we've sort of moved back straight into standard lands. It's interesting. We used to see this backline dragon was a big thing. Dragon sort of become a thing again, it felt like. There is an Earth Dragon available. No
Happy
team moved
day.
to it just yet.
Yes, Earth Dragon is one of the highly prized ones. We will see how early they decide to set up for that one. As of right now, actually, Huni looks like he's making an Iceborne Gauntlet, so maybe he will go tanky build Echo this time around and be more of a frontline for Immortals rather than going hard through the AP route.
Wait and see. Never know with Huni, but certainly looks like a nice one to start things off. Pobelter actually did go back, didn't complete a Negatron, though actually upgraded his Hex Core instead. Does have an Amp Tome in there now as well. And looks like blue buff going to go over to Slushy, who's building up a very early Abyssal. Great item for trying to trade with Victor, who does want to get into that medium range so often.
Yeah, LeBlanc going to be very, very intimidating still, even though they haven't been able to play off that advantage quite yet, with some good defense from Immortals around the mid lane. Now they're turning their sights towards bottom here, and Huni, he does have his ultimate available, as well as Flash.
Oh, Sentinel though, going to find Rainover. Maybe that's the target, but Rainover just shoots him out. Gate going to hop over, but I don't think they can really dive this 2v3 with a tower there.
Yeah, those little ambushes on Graves, it's a little counterintuitive because, oh yes, he's an AD carry, so you want to close your distance. Uh-oh.
Adrian, yeah, that was Struggle Street. Actually took tower aggro, and now Wild Turtle takes a shot.
Yeah, Zig got the ultimate off on him really quickly as well there, hoping that that extra tower shot was going to be enough. Adrian quickly drinking some potions though, and they keep up their siege on that turret.
We've had extended 1v2s here as well. Sushi even down bottom side, but goes straight back. Zig getting ulted. Wild Turtle looking for a dive, but he's taking the tower hits. Needs to go in there. Does get it. Zig almost with the outplay. His Turtle barely lives from the dive. He's forced to burn the heal, but he survives.
Oh man, that's pretty big though. Zig going down means this turret is going to collapse, and it looks like the rest of Phoenix One gave up their siege down bottom. So in the mirrored lane there, it is going to be Huni being able to hold it, and Immortals gain that map advantage. First turret to go down, going to be able to use that extra gold. However, Phoenix One opting for the Dragon instead, and Mountain Drake does help you get turrets a lot easier if they're able to finish this off, because Rainover is actually looking like he wants to contest.
It's a little sneaky. Rainover going to try and get in there perhaps.
He's got Flash, he could dash in, go for a steal. He's got ultimate as well for a dodge.
Oh, Huni's also here, so a bit of a threat here. It's only 3 members of P1 around the Dragon. Dragon low though, will get spied away. Oh my god, Huni!
Rainover gave up on the steal. Rainover's like, you know what? Not worth it. Not going to sacrifice my life. I have Flash and all that stuff. Meh. Huni's like, I'll do it. I got your back. Goes in, steals it without smite. The Echo. Woo. And there it is. He completes his Iceborne Gauntlet after. Ah, yes. I steal my dragon. I build tank. What a team player this man.
A whole new Huni after his first series in the summer of the LCS here. Ulted out quickly. Very nice stuff from Huni. I pretty much missed it. That's how fast it was. As Pobelter's getting all into mid lane. Does ulti back. That's going to force Slushy away. Does recognize that's a Mimic. Now he knows for sure as it will fall down. But that's Pobelter out of that lane.
Gonna get the Chaos Storm on the clone instead. No reward there. Adrian, though, gets knocked up.
Little too far forward. About to get stunned. Zig's going to come down with the TP as well. And Adrian gets ulted up by Braum. Sentinel going to claim his life as Turtle's now going to get out. The pillar is good.
They want more.
That tower's not very healthy. Wild Toad are going to get dove in there. Gate needs one more auto, gets the stun. Match with a boomerang on the back end will get it. But Rainover and Huni are now here. Sentinel will be the target. That's a flash out as Rainover follow flashes for him, but no chase wanted. P1 get out.
Oh yeah, Rainover also burns his flash there on the chase, but no CC or not much burst as well to follow up, and that's going to be an extra summoner spell. Pretty good countermeasures here from Phoenix One. They even up the gold. The only thing is they did lose out on that dragon because of the steal. If it wasn't for that Huni steal, Phoenix One would actually be ahead in this game.
Huni?
Can barely get there.
Oh, he wants it, but now it's 2v1. Forced to ulti out. Doesn't quite consider face checking. Even Huni's not that brave.
Yeah, I mean, that usually, you know, there are some points in the game where you're like, I will gladly trade my ultimate for some recall stops, but actually Mash might die here.
Really nice W. Does get the stun onto Gate, but Rainover maybe not have enough damage. Ulti from Turtle might be enough. Huni goes straight back in despite getting stunned. Ulti flashed out of the way, and Mash and Gate get away with it for now. Now Slushie and Pobelter fighting near mid as he wants it. Huni goes in. Flash in from Mash that protects him, and Civ is going to be okay. Pobelter also still alive and bleeding health bars across the rift.
So close. Pobelter also ended up getting away from Slushie in the mid laner duel, so a lot of skirmishing, but in the end, it's Immortals. Once again, they capitalize on the objective, and they're able to take another turret. 2-0 in that category for Immortals.
Objective's looking good, but Adrian kind of started it off in a bit of a silly place.
Right, remember this was the good collapse from Phoenix One. They had the jungler come from top, teleport from Ziggs, so they had him completely surrounded. Then they go for this play. They actually get the kill. Now
they go for this play because
back to
Slushie's
life.
forced to flash. Pobelter not going to claim him. Adrian just going to throw a cube at Slushie. Definitely dodges it. And we'll calm down. Not for too much longer, though. These teams definitely playing hard in the early minutes.
Yeah, a lot of action here in the gold, extremely close. This is what we were talking about. You know, there were good individual plays for Phoenix One in their earlier set. It's just that once they got to the stage of the game where they're more about trading objectives and making decisive team calls. Huni actually...
Ulti's out, might not be enough. The pillar's still there to slow him. Huni going to get zapped down. Zig able to bop him with the club.
All right, another kill over to Phoenix One, and the gold is dead even now. But yeah, as we transition to the stage of the game where the map gets opened up a little bit more, and it's about, oh, now Turtle, more action, boys!
Yep, there's another attack, needs one more auto. Mash has it for the stun. There's a boomerang blading, combos into the ulti. Turtle pops a heal, and don't know if he's gonna live, but he's not dead just yet. Rainover just able to get out an Adrian. I think he saved Turtle!
Oh!
Turtle blinks out towards the turret, but the boomerang blade's enough in the choke point.
Gate not hitting the Q, just setting the kill up for Mash. He leaves it there for him to pick it up. And Phoenix One, they don't have to worry about deep warding. If they just keep fighting their opponents, you can keep track of them that way.
That's the best way. Pobelter going to get blue buff though, but this game, a breakneck pace set for the first 16 minutes, and P1 do find themselves up in gold. It's only 1,000 gold up, and they did lose that dragon, but one up in 150. This is what they need to be doing.
Exactly, and the crucial pickup after those kills, they got their first turret. Top lane did go down after they were able to take out Huni.
Well, that's what they need. Now 2-1 down in turrets for P1, but certainly looking to make some ground, and Slushie with the Abyssal now done. Working on item number 2. Very threatening as we move through the rest of this one. Dragon though, minute 25 now. Not too sure which one it is just yet, but we'll see exactly what these teams want to do. I think in general, they're going to be looking to just fight for the spawn and just keep the dragons going. Even the Cloud Drakes worth
definitely.
Just say hopefully roll Infernal.
Even the Cloud Drakes, no respect usually. But yeah, I mean, that change has been one of the big changes that has encouraged the meta to shift so much more towards team fighting and towards all this early action. And that is another thing that has kind of closed the gap between the very top teams and the bottom teams. Yes, a lot of our bottom teams have gotten much better as the talent pool to draw from has gotten bigger. But also, the fact that the game is so much about team fighting now, most of these guys can go toe-to-toe in just straight-up 5-on-5s if they're entering on even footing. And the difference between, you know, setting up those fights with deep vision and true sight from pink wards and sweepers is a little bit less than it was in previous metagames.
Yep, certainly the little things that matter. We're probably about to have some sort of showdown for the next objective. Slushie back in there, wants to try and take out Pobelter. Chain's gonna land in, but just some poke damage. Eats a tower hit on his way back out. But Pobelter still struggling despite the Negatron cloak that he has. He just can't get all in by LeBlanc. He will die.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's having a hard time there. Every time we see him, he's taking a beating, but he's getting what matters, the CS. Victor, he's trying to wave clear. He's holding this LeBlanc. We said his job had become just keep track of Slushie. Don't let Slushie go wreak havoc on the rest of your lanes. And he's staying competitive in gold share. So well done there after the early kills went over to the LeBlanc. Been able to hold on. Slushie does have that experience lead, which is also going to help out, but see what Sentinel can do and get away with here.
Yeah, he's okay. Pretty tanky on the Rex side so far. Does have that Cinderhawk Sightstone build. Started seeing a lot of. Slushie distorts in, but Nova's just going to throw down the smoke screen. Pobelter with the ward down from the blue trinket. Keeps track of that one. And Zig has actually finished the Ravenous Hydra. So that's split pushing starting for the Trundle. Spectre's Cal there as well. So Zig will get stronger as the game goes on. We saw this from P1 in their series yesterday. Couldn't quite get the Trundle to work, but you could see what they wanted to do with the pick.
And you're not going to be able to QSS off that Trundle ultimate later in the game anymore. So it's going to be fearsome pretty much all game long. Phoenix One, they send him back up top while the duo lane finishes off bottom turret, and Earth Drake, or Mountain Drake, #2 here. This one, P1 gonna make a good case for. Last time they had a good case as well though, and Huni stole it away from him, so maybe Adrian or someone down there does it again.
Well, Huni's busy. He's actually taking the Rift Herald, so... Oh, well,
Turtle though, he's up!
Ulti trapped up! Is he gonna get it? No. Smite there from Sentinel this time secures that. They'll just trade objective this time. Huni does get Rift Herald.
That timing there with Herald going down at the exact same time as Dragon. You have to second guess for a second, but no. They are able to secure this one. So Phoenix One evening up that Dragon count as well. This Rift Herald buff, though, really important nowadays. It lasts 20 minutes. Okay, so maybe not really important, but it does last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it is really important for the top laners because this is a 1v1 where you are going to get the full effect of that Rift Herald buff. And Huni on the Echo is going to have a hard time. Even though he's building full armor, even though he's building tank, Trundle right now, with the slight lead, and you won't be able to build QSS off the ultimate, he's going to be a rough 1v1 for the entire game. That Rift Herald buff might actually be significant in this game in helping out and determining who gets the push advantage in the 1v1 with Echo Trundle.
Yeah, we've seen quite a lot of Trundle recently, and he feels like the best natural recipient of the buff. So more than anything, Huni, who's definitely a split push type of player when he wants to be, I think denying it from Zig's probably the good news there.
Yeah, what it does for people who haven't been able to keep up on the recent changes is now, since it does last 20 minutes, it actually just has effectiveness to be able to charge up when you're not around your teammates. So that's why we say, oh, junglers and solo laners are good options for it. It reduces the damage that enemy champions can do to you by 5% and charges up corruption taxes. But they're not alone now. Everybody grouping up mid.
Slushie in does do good poke on a Rainover. They're really trying to protect this turret, and P1 will keep it available for now. Wild Turtle's nice and strong though with the transform on the Muramana and the Iceborne Gauntlet. So poke definitely here alongside Adrian in particular, but cannot get caught in any sort of flank here. Huni though running interference in bottom side. Zig's going to have to go down and join him.
All right, we'll get our first look at the 1v1 now. Post Rift Herald taken. Never mind, we won't. They're just going to trade minion waves.
Not today. Not yet. It'll definitely be happening.
Oh,
but Huni just
it'll
backed
happen.
away.
And when it happens, we'll point out the damage from the corruption stacks.
Does do quite a lot. Pobelter getting blue, I think. Maybe they got taken by Rainover. That's a bit cheeky. P1 though, counter pushing. No, Pobelter does have the buff. We're okay. There's the Victor wave clear. P1 get what damage they can while they can.
Yeah.
Victor very annoying to try and break.
Definitely. And remember what we pointed out as well in Champ Select. This Immortals comp, while it is pretty balanced as far as magic, physical, and they do have a tank now with Huni building tank instead of going with the AP route. The thing is, their CC is very unreliable. We talked about parallel convergence that takes a little bit of skill and timing and luck to actually hit. But as of right now, we're going to see an assassination attempt on him. They don't land it, but the other one is going to be the gravity field, and that takes a long time to land. Gate actually gets pushed off the turret and has to flash.
Oh, gonna flash out of everything. No, ulti though from Turtle's enough for the snipe. Mash puts up the shields like, yeah, that's all I got, sorry.
All right, well, that might signal them to keep up pressure here. Turtle's going to get another wave, and they're going to move into the jungle. You want to get those deep wards down to see the movements of Phoenix One. This is the area of the game where Immortals are going to try and take over and try and punish the fact that Phoenix One are kind of a new team coming together, even though Gate, Mash...
Oh, Turtle, who wants in, but Slushie does as well. Dives not to Pobelter, but gets himself exhausted. Immortals not done, they will try and shove this down.
Yep, Huni's going to be able to push the side lane. The mid 4 are going to take out the second turret here.
Whoa, Turtle dodges out of the chain and almost gets Slushy. Does he have the ulti? Not quite yet. But they do get the turret for it. 4-2 now in turrets for Immortal. They break straight through mid.
Under 25 HP there for Slushy, and he barely gets away. But Immortals are happy with what they got. 4 turrets to 2 now for them. Mid lane wide open here. And they're going to go back to base, refill some Sight Zone wards. And let's see, they also have just the single yellow trinket still remaining there from Hugi. Going to try and ward for himself a little bit in the split pushing efforts.
Other than that, this seems like, again, we'll reset the map at this point in the game.
Yeah.
24 minutes in almost, and it's been relatively quiet. In fact, the gold lead straight back to even. Immortals finding an edge with some of the turrets, but P1 certainly keeping up.
Exactly. You know, the objectives for Immortals, whereas P1 getting the better of the kills and using their teleport aggressively, trying to collapse and getting a lot of ambush moves onto Immortals, taking out pretty much everybody. So let's see here. Dead even gold. Positioning for the next team fight is going to be a little bit difficult for P1 because they're the ones without the deep wards, but they have map control. And LeBlanc coming down for Turtle.
Slushy wants it. He's going to look for it, but doesn't find the chain. Turtle now going to maybe try and turn things around. Lands the first Q, gets the damage down, lands another Q, and might look for it. Turtle really wants it. Comes in with a snipe.
Versus 2. That was a legitimate 1 versus 2 from Turtle. He gets the kill. Failed dive there from Phoenix 1, and a huge mistake.
And Turtle's going off, to be honest. 3-2-0, got a Hex Drinker. Everyone's respecting Slushy with some of their item pickups because the 3 carries have MR, and of course, Huni, who's building it, will finish that Spirit Visage at some point. But yeah, Turtle just went in. It's like, I don't need anything else. I got this.
Oh my. All right, let's see what Immortals do next because they're looking to press in here. Their minion waves are not quite pushed up, so I don't think they'll get too much done. They're just laying down the groundwork. A couple of vision wards. Rain over steals. Yeah, he got it.
Oh, now Turtle here again, wants another kill. Zig's like, I remember this situation. Doesn't have his ulti from last time. They might even go for a dive here, but Pobelter also in trouble. That's going to be the TP down as ulti's not enough to take out Zig there from Graves.
And Immortals are happy to take this action now because they were the ones laying down that groundwork, the prep work we talked about. All their minion waves shoving up. Huni got the bottom lane pushing. They're pressing in mid and top at the same time and trying to collapse.
And she's well done, so Huni pretty tanky. Going to tag Gate there and get the slowdown mash. And have to work through Parallel Convergence. Might have issues though as the speed up's there from Adrian. Turtle moving in, but he's going to get his way out. Chaos Storm does so much damage on the backside.
Big teleported in.
Sentinel's in there. Zig, he's going to try and clean it up, but I think he's just going to get CC to death here. Zig is going to get Pobelter to go down to the back. No, he's not dead yet, but Turtle is going crazy. Picks himself up a bunch of kills. There's now Mash going to get dove. A triple for Turtle.
Oh my, so ridiculously close there. But Zig, if you look at what he teleported so far away. It was a good 15 seconds till he walked over to the team fight. And Phoenix 1 tried to start that off without the front line. Really good punish there by Immortals. They're able to take that turret plus face tank the inhibitor one, and Huni's gonna ult back into the turret to barely survive. They can't finish off the inhibitor turret, and they're going to just walk away with that extra gold. But yeah, it took a long time. Look at Trundle walking over from Tribush right now. Big AoE from LeBlanc, but bigger counter there from Pobelter. Chaos Storm and Laser both landing. Then AoE shields from Karma keep the entire team alive. And Huni on the front line, able to chase him down, finish off the kills under turret. Turtle does go down in the very end there, but Immortals pretty happy with the way the game is trending now as they finally jumped out to the real first significant gold lead. Pretty quick answer here from Sentinel, but I think it's going to be run off by Immortals as everyone comes down.
Yep, unfortunately the rest of the team not able to counter, so Mountain Drake number 2 will go over to Immortals. They actually get the 3rd overall one of the game. Huni actually going to just make sure Sentinel's all the way back towards his blue buff, and there is that secure rune, plus the blue steel out for Immortals.
Both teams just constantly fighting here. A lot of action, but the game is telling them focus on objectives. Mountain Drakes only. They will be able to take those objectives very quickly is what this does mean. Whichever team does get, a significant team fight kill as far as numbers advantage goes, that Baron will drop very quickly, as will turrets.
Yeah, well, that inhibitor turret is regenerating now, but looked awfully low. If Immortals had had the second dragon, probably would have taken it with a stiff breeze.
Yep.
Instead, we'll just reset things. Turtle finish up the Maw of Malmortius. Extra shields now for Adrian as his locket is completed, and a perfect hex score for Pobelter with more to come. But P1 going to steal away the blue buff Rain over, not able to get it for himself.
Yep, and while they're stealing away the blue, Zig pulls some sleight of hand. Look over there. I take about half this turret on Trundle. Luckily for Immortals, though, it's still their outer turret standing. We're able to move in to protect it.
Ulti in, looking for Rainover, doesn't quite get tagged though, and Immortals able to go back in. Total just jumps in straight for Gate, and Bobert is looking to lay down the AoE, does get the Chaos Storm down now. Hooney's looking for the flank side as well, doesn't quite phase up in onto Gate, who'll flash himself to safety. Immortals want to chase, but no one from P1 answers.
Yeah, P1, though, they use the Sivir ultimate as well as Braum there, so both their engage and disengage tools down. Immortals, as we said, though, they don't have that reliable CC to punish people for plays like that. It's really hard for them. They have to have some very interesting setups to be able to get, parallel convergence and gravity field to lock someone down. So P1 are able to get away with it. Does mean they cede map control, though, and Immortals going to force it here.
Yeah, it could be Baron, that's the issue. Hooney going to slap that Trinket Ward down, and this Baron is dropping quickly, especially with the two Mountain Drakes. They'll pull off there. They might try for a fight. Hooney, again, just running interference in the backline, trying to make sure Sentinel doesn't get in for it, and Immortals are not finishing this.
Yeah, they're going to go hard on
Matt.
that.
He's dead. Gets caught on the sidelines there, and now they'll pull the trigger for the rest of it. Ulti in there from Turtle gets damage down onto 3 as Rainover is just pushing forward for a few extra shots.
Really like this from Immortals. They want to use these double Mountain Drakes. They're going to be able to burn down Baron now. Mash not there. It's a crucial member for Phoenix One. It would have to be a suicide mission from Sentinel to go try and steal this, but he's going to go in for it.
Hooney, again, a little low on mana as Immortals might have to pull back off, but Sentinel's in the backside. Hooney actually dies to Gate.
Oh my
and now the Baron
goodness.
is too
It's a
low.
50-50.
It's a 50-50. They go in, but Rainover does take it. And now Sentinel taking damage as Gate's just getting eaten out by Turtle, but Immortals keep moving in. Turtle finally slays Gate, and they will turn things around. Pobelter able to take out Zig. Slushie going to get chased down as Turtle's going absolutely crazy this game. Goes over the clone for another kill, and Sentinel almost about to get the ace, but he ultis out.
Sneaky move out there, but my goodness, is Turtle carrying this. 9 kills now on Ezreal, and he is going off hard. Baron buff for Immortals means that with the 2 Mountain Drakes, they will be able to knock these turrets down very, very easily. I really fear for the Phoenix One inhibitors. They might even lose 2 of them off of this play.
Well, you can see Turtle, he'll start attacking this turret. That's a lot of damage. Adrian even in there as well. Baron going to help out. Mash actually in a bit of trouble. As Turtle happy to play aggressive. Little low on mana, but we'll get some back there from the Muramana. TP in for Immortals, looking for a play. P1 going to crowd around Hooney, but Hooney just here to make sure the inhibitor goes down. Pobelter rotating in as well. Mash ultis, they look for Hooney, but he's pretty tanky. Sentinel off to the front side is also taking damage in the front. P1 trying to get a pick here as Pobelter's forced to flash out, but the damage is back in. Hooney setting up for the stun, but Slushie straight in the backlines tries to assassinate Adrian and does not get it. And the front line is just not dying on either side.
Yep, and that did buy time for the minions to finish off the inhibitor mid. So it was 2 inhibitors off of that play. 4,800 Baron power play already off of that one. And Immortals just take a huge chunk out of the Phoenix One base.
Yeah, overall lead massive as well for Immortals. 7k up in this one with items just flush through the inventories. Dragon will be back up in a minute 50 for Immortals doing a wander over and try and take it. But with 2 inhibitors down, there's also an argument for just heading bottom lane, trying to close out the game.
Yeah, man, let's take another look at this one because Hooney on the front here gets pillared, then does not have any summoners to get out. Braum stun is a pretty easy looking kill for them, and Phoenix One bully their way in. Really clutch smite by Rain over there because Sentinel was right there in time. Trigger ready, but Wild Turtle, you can see, going aggressive, finish this one off. And he knows that Slushie has already pulled that trick before, trying to move the LeBlanc clone and distract you, but doesn't matter. He takes out the clone and the real one. Sentinel getting away with the Rek'Sai ultimate is great for him, but
Fortunately, the rest of his team's dead.
exactly.
Not ideal. There for P1 as Immortals now looking to charge down bottom lane. Damage is just so massive. Turtle happy to play forward here because he knows just how much hurt he can put on. Hooney also playing up there. Very tanky this time on the Echo, and that turret melts in front of Immortals.
Yep. They've got super minions headed right up the mid lane as well. They're going to apply a lot of pressure. They can just bully right through this bottom lane.
Hooney pretty much zoning with the W every time it's up. Happy to play forward and take a few shots here and there. Immortals know they just have to be patient here, and they don't have to wait too long.
Exactly, and their comp is set up for counter engages. They have so much that's a lot easier if your enemy are trying to run at you. Phoenix One have no other options than to try and run at them now because they're desperate. Their base has been destroyed. They're down in gold. They have to hope for the miracle defense, and here they go.
Getting poked out as well. Immortals are going to try and take this tower, but P1 do have to pull the trigger on a fight. Brawl multi out there. Does start Pooning in the front side, but Turtle just doing too much work. Slushy dives in and tries to take him out, but there's the double in for the Ezreal. Still going in as Hooney does tag match on the end and ulti himself to safety. Adrian picks up one on the back end, and Zentinel once again, the only one left alive for Phoenix One.
All right, that's going to be the entire base, and it's going to be the Nexus. Only Rek'Sai survives for Phoenix One.
And Immortals able to take this one down. A very convincing game one victory. Close throughout the first 20 minutes or so, but Immortals come up with the clutch plays. Turtle goes crazy, and they do manage to close out very clean.
Yeah, sort of what we were expecting from Phoenix One. They went toe-to-toe with them in the early stages.